today is hearing God over the noise. Hearing God, say that with me, over the noise. It is important that we hear God. Now we're going to read today, so let's go to Numbers, and we're going to read rather lengthy, so I need all of you all. I hope they got it up on the screen, but if they don't, it's going to be okay. All right. Numbers chapter number 20, and verse number 1. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, unto the desert of Zin in the first month. And the people abode in Kadesh. And Miriam died there and was buried. There's another subject all about Miriam, because Miriam was kind of upset with Moses because he married a Cushite. And she was jealous of Moses because she just didn't like him, because that was really Moses' sister and Aaron's brother. So they didn't like him because who he married. But in verse number 4, meaning that there was another transition that's getting ready to take place. So she died, and they were getting ready to leave the wilderness and go into the next phase of their life. But look what it says in verse number 2 of chapter number 20. There was no water for the congregation. They gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people strived or quarreled with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brothers died before God. They're talking about when they were doing all this idolatry worship at the mountain, and God killed thousands of them. And he said, I wish we had died then. Anybody in the room wish you had died a long time ago? The devil is a liar. Look what it says. It says, the congregation of the Lord into the wilderness, and we and our cattle should die here. In other words, we don't like what's happening right now. But in verse number 5, and wherefore we have made us up, and wherefore ye have made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us into this evil place. There's no place of seed or figs or vines or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. Complaining. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation and fell upon their faces. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. So all of this stress, all this stuff they were talking about, Moses and Aaron went before the Lord. Hear a word from him. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak unto the rock before their eyes, shall give forth water. Thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give to the congregation, and their beasts drink. Verse 9. Moses took the rod before the Lord as he commanded him. Verse number 10. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels. Listen, you rebels. Must we fetch you water out of the rock? Look how the whole conversation changed. After he came out of prayer, now he's got the congregation before them. And this is what he's saying now. Y'all rebels. Watch how when pastors are talking about the people, what are talking about the world. He said, You rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly. And the congregation drank, and their beasts also. Verse number 12. And Moses spake, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because he believed me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore you shall not bring the congregation to the land which I have given them. Verse number 12. Verse number 13, I'm going to read that. And this is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. Hearing God over the noise. Moses has this problem and dilemma that he's dealing with. He's dealing with a group of people that he's been dealing with for 40 years. And really the journey shouldn't have been that long. They should have been there and back in 40 days. But it takes 40 years for them to get to the promised land. Sort of like us today. God is trying to get our attention, and we're murmuring and complaining about everything. I wish I had more money. I wish I had married wish I had a better job. It's just more complaining. Please write this down. The more you complain, the more you remember. Every time you complain about something, you're going to stay there a little bit longer. I'm coming out of this. The more you complain about something, you're going to stay there. Why am I complaining? Because something is happening inside of you that you can't do about something that you probably can do. You have the right to stop allowing things to infest you. You have the ability to stop allowing things from the outside to mess with you. But some people won't because they're still stuck on looking for something other than what's in there. God has given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. Someone shout, I have everything I need. Come on, let's say it like you believe it. I have everything I need. God is not a respected person. God's not going to bless them and not bless you. But the problem is we're trying to be blessed based on what we see in people. I want what they got. But why aren't you content with what God has already given you? So the people are sitting there trying to figure life out. Number one point I want to bring out, there's a danger of functional disobedience. There's a danger when you function in disobedience. That's your whole function is just disobedience. I'm just going to disobey God. I don't care what he says. I'm just going to disobey him. And when this happens, God is saying, listen, you have success with people, but you do not have my approval. You are successful. Look how successful you are, but you don't have my approval. In other words, I'm not giving you praise for your success that has nothing to do with me. It's disobedience. You're not operating in what I said. You're operating in what you want. And there's a lot of us that have been operating in what we want, and God has been doing some things we thought he was doing, but he's never put his approval on it. God said, I'm not approving that. Well, I know it's got to be God because the crowd is following us. Well, the Bible said, broad is the way that leads to destruction, but narrow and straight is the way that leads to eternal life. Someone said, well, I got a crowd. Michael Jackson had one. Elvis Presley had one. So the crowd is not a barometer that you're in the will of God. And then having nobody is not a barometer that you're in the will of God. Is when you are obedient to God and what he's telling you to do. Because the worst thing is to climb the ladder to success and find out you're leaning up against the wrong building. I'm successful, but you're up against the wrong building. You're trying to find success in everything other than the peace that comes from God. Mission successful, but being displeased by God. God says, I choose obedience over productivity. Obedience over, well, look at all the money I got. Look at all the fame I got. Yes, that's good. And I think that should be celebratory. But it doesn't mean anything with God. But you got the favor of the people. That's what King Saul had, didn't he? He had the favor of the people. They loved Saul. He was robust. But he didn't have the anointing of David. And there are a lot of people that are robust. They look good. But they are not in the will of God. Meaning, and I'm not talking about anybody, I'm just saying, give time, and time will tell you what the people are made out of. It's not what they are right now, it's what they will be later on. Oh, look at me, look at them. I'm flying high. Yes, you are. But you will come down. My friend, Bishop Sappho, 2 years ago, me and my wife went to Cancun and was doing the height of winter here. I said, Bishop Sappho, I'm in Cancun, enjoying myself right now. He said, she said, Cancun? My wife, I was correct, Cancun. I said, we're enjoying ourselves. He says, Miller, you got to come home. And that kind of hurt me. He said, you got to come. You can be there for 14 days, but you got to come home. When you get back here, this cold going to be waiting for you. I'm saying to all of us, you can be successful all you want, but you're going to need Jesus before it's all over with. Because what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So yes, we celebrate that. Yes, we celebrate the cars, the house, and the mega church. Woo! But what what does it produce in the end? Jesus didn't have a mega church. He had a mega following. But he had a close-knitted group of believers. Peter, James, and John was the one that was with him in life and death situation. But the other 11 would hang with him. The other 12 would hang with him. And he had one that hung with him that was concerned about money. And turned him in for 30 pieces of silver. The question is, how many of us will turn Jesus in for whatever we think is success? What is it? Is that successful? It looks successful. It looks good. Do you remember, Lady Kate, we bought our first brand new car? Ooh, the 1980 Sapporo. Gear shift. We rolling here to Mississippi, just driving. Where is it today? It's in somebody's scrap pile. It really didn't matter in terms of future. It was only good for the moment. And a lot of us will take moments and be frustrated that mess up the rest of your generations. Moses, one moment of frustration caused him to miss the promise of God. Now think about this for a second. God calls him out to lead 6 million people to the promised land. And as he's leading these people, he's dealing with them. He understands because he's trying to adjust. He really didn't want to do it because he had a stuttering problem. Because the Lord told him, I want you to go down in Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And Moses said, I can't go because I stutter. God said, I'm going to use you with your stuttering self to deliver my people. To those of you all that are in the room that said, God can't use me because I have some issues. I got some tendencies and proclivities. God said, I'm still going to use you because my purpose for you is greater than your stuttering. Your imperfection will never stop the perfection I have for you. But Moses is leading these people, and I believe that somewhere along the line, Moses got polluted with the people he was hanging around. I wrote some things down. Exposure to difficult people can slowly erode your patience and affect your character. Hanging around with difficult people will slowly erode your patience and character. It's a slow process. They're not going to take you out, but you start hanging around them. Hanging around. Oh, my God. And there's nothing wrong because it's almost like putting a frog in the pot. Just try it if y'all got frogs at home. Put a frog in the pot and just turn the temperature up just a little bit. He's going to sit right there. Turn it up a little bit more. He's going to turn right there. And it has been said, the frog will die in that pot. But if you take the frog and throw him in there at one time, he'll jump out. But what is destroying a lot of us is complacency and consistency in something we're not supposed to be in the first place. Corroded people, we're hanging around them, and they slowly infest us and infect us, and before you know it, we just like them. I'm wondering, can I talk to somebody today? Association breeds simulation. If I hang out with a dope dealer, I'm going to be a dope dealer by association and don't have to sell no dope. But the association breeds simulation. When you hang out with people that do negative things, you become what they are just because you hang with them. Well, what do you mean by that? Just think about it just for a second. If you hang out with negative people, young people, if you hang out with negative people, those negative people are going to affect you negatively. And before you know it, you're going to be saying, why do I think like that? That wasn't even your thought. That was the thought of the people you've been hanging around. And that's what happened to the people of Israel. They were hanging around negative people. There were people that said, we can't. People can get used to what's next, but they keep talking about what happened yesterday. And that's what happened to Moses. Moses got contaminated with some folk that really didn't want to go, but that wanted to go, but really didn't want to go. They wanted to leave where they were. They wanted to go to a place that had figs and pomegranates, but they said, well, how come you got us out here? Where are the figs? You didn't have figs in Egypt. Now you want to talk about where we at right now. I don't like where we at right now, but people of God, I'm telling you, you got to hear God above the noise. All right, illustration. Make as much noise y'all can in the room. Come on. Come on, y'all make as much noise as you can. Come on. Y'all hear all that noise? Now, it's noise. Now, I said something to him that only I said to him. He know what I said to him. It ain't your business what I said to him. But I told him something that's going to make him happy before he leaves the service. But some of us, we can't hear what God is saying because we're listening to all the noise. What is it that God wants to do in your life before the year is out? But you keep listening to Instagram, social media. You watch more TV than a little bit. Every program you know every episode. Everything about the show you know. And if we say anything about, no, that didn't happen. Because you have digested that whole program. And I'm telling you, I'm guilty of it too, because I was watching this program and I was like, this thing is taking up all my time. Because it took me from episode to episode. And I said, I need to be going to the church, but I'm going to watch this episode first. And before you know it, I got so engulfed with it, it took up all my time. And before you know it, I don't even want to use the bathroom. I can't get no help in here because I'm so engaged. Some of us are so engaged with other people's stuff that we can't even enjoy the life God's given us right now. That's what happened to the people of Israel. God was trying to move them from the wilderness to the promised land, but he's got to get the infection out. There's an infection. And you can't really do surgery until the infection is down. So the Lord had to allow some people to die. Some people had to die. The Bible talks about 23,000 people died at one time because of idolatry. Because they said, this be the God that brought us out. Look at the mindset of people in Moses' day, not in this day, because we don't do that here. But in Moses' day, Moses went up to get the commandment from the Lord. And as he's going up to get the commandments from the Lord to give back to the people had orgies going around. They were sexing it up, sexing it out. I mean, just really knocking boots. And God comes down and God hears him. He says, I'm about to wipe them out. And Moses said, don't wipe them out. Please, don't wipe them out, because if you wipe them out, then the other nations will talk about it. And God said, okay. So Moses went down to talk to him. And as Moses went down to talk to him, guess what happened as Moses went down? Moses turned and said, who's on the Lord's side? And all that was on the Lord's side came over. And then he said, now those of you on this side, go take a knife and go kill everybody out there. Why would God do something like that? Why would God bring people out to kill them in the wilderness? Somebody said, why? Because he's sovereign. And he can do whatever he wants to do. God can destroy anybody he wanted to destroy, and he don't have to justify himself and why he's doing it, because he is God. The problem with a lot of us, we think God owes us an explanation when he doesn't. If he is God, then he can do whatever he wants to do, and I believe he's God. A God that can create the heavens and the earth off a word, put the sun and the moon in his place. He doesn't have to answer to me. I have to answer to him. So at some point, we need to trust the Lord with all of our heart and lean not to our own understanding. But in all my ways, acknowledge the Lord. He shall what? Direct our path. Look at somebody and tell them, I need God right now. I need God right now. Now look at verse number 6 of chapter number 20. And I want you to see this, because it says in verse number 6, and Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle, unto the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared upon them. So when they got away from the people and went to the door of the tabernacle, or the house of the Lord, that's why Jeremiah is now incorporating Thursday early morning prayer at 6 o'clock. And I know it's uncomfortable, but sometimes God wants us to be uncomfortable so he can make us comfortable. So he goes to the door of the tabernacle, him and his brother, Aaron is his brother, and they hear from the Lord in verse number 6 and verse number 7. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye upon the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth water. Speak, this is what the Lord said, speak to this rock, and I will command the rock to yield water to them. God is saying, do what I said, and I will give water to them. He leaves that place in verse number, and Moses took the rod from the Lord, and he commanded him in verse number 10. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, hear ye, ye rebels. What changed? What changed? What changed all of a sudden? Because they were just talking to the Lord. Is it possible that you can get an answer from God in prayer and come out and start dealing with people and cuss them out? Is it possible you can be in church and lift God up and go home and cuss all your kids out? I'm just keeping it 100. Because this Bible is really trying to teach us how to live life. Could it be that the reason why you cuss is not because you wanted to cuss? You cussed because people got on your nerve. And you gave people control of your life. When you give people control of your life, that means they're going to always jack you up. No one should control you but God. Not even you. So he comes out and he says this, you rebels. He said, must we? Look at his arrogance. Must we? This is Moses saying, must we, me and my brothers, we give you water? Well, all of us need water. You need water as a leader. I need water as a congregation. He said, ye rebels, but watch this. You rebels, must we fetch you water? And Moses lifted up his hand and smote the rock twice. And God said something to him after he did it, because God knew the people needed water. So it was successful. They got the water. Someone shout, they got the water. But disobedience came from Moses. And God said, you ain't going in. Now, I want y'all to hear me. A lot of people is in this room, a lot of people is online, not going to make it to heaven. You're going to have success here. You're not going to make it to heaven. Someone said, why would you say something like that? Because you're not willing to obey. You like the success of what's happening here. And I'm with you. I want to be successful. But does it matter? My whole goal in life now is to hear God say, well done. All this other stuff don't matter. I want to hear him say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And if it means I have to disconnect from certain people, so let it be. Moses was at this point that he allowed the people to destroy God's original plan for his life. Please write this down. Yesterday's revelation isn't always today's instruction. Whatever happened yesterday is not instructions for today. Meaning, if you look at Exodus chapter number 17, the Lord told him to smote the rock. And that's what he did in Exodus chapter number 17. He smote it. At Ribbenhan, he smote it. But it was different at Kadesh. Something that happened in Exodus chapter number 17, he said, he said, I want you to smite the rock, and water came out. Because he hit the rock. Now, but God's saying now, this next season is not time for you to smote it, Moses. I want you to speak to it. And God is saying to us even now, this is a season that we need to stop hitting things and start praying for things. The Bible said the effectual fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. We've gotten away from prayer. And that's why prayer is the most unattended service. On Sunday morning in any church, it's full. But have a prayer night. And people halfway come to prayer because they don't think nothing's going to happen. But you know what? Something might not happen because nothing has happened in you. But when something happens in you, you can't wait to get to the house of God for God to speak through you. Because God want to give you revelation about the situation. Yesterday won't work. And somebody tell me, but yesterday we used to pray. Yeah, yesterday, but what we going to do today? Paul said, I'm forgetting those things which are behind, and I'm reaching forth to those things which are before. Is there anybody in the room that will tell God, I need your help right now? I know y'all getting quiet in here, but it's okay because God's trying to get our attention. Let's hear God. Stop hearing people. I'm so tired of people telling me what a preacher said. Well, my preacher said, well, the Bible said in the last days, people shall have itching ears. And it's not so much the preacher, it's your itch that the preacher that you like scratching. Itching ears. You want to hear what you want to hear. I got to hear what I got to hear. That preacher say just what I want to hear. Now, they told me it's all right to do this. And you like, yes. And you like, oh, man, that feels good. I done scratched that itch. I feel so much better. I want a preacher that's going to talk about money. Money, 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 money. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Money coming. And you scratch that itch. But what about when God's trying to tell you to walk in obedience? What if God's trying to tell you to fast and pray? What if God is telling you, hey, don't worry about what they're doing. Give me praise. What about when you got your body is wrecking with pain, but you said, I will lift mine eyes to the hills from which cometh my help? Because God is not always a God that's going to make you feel better. He's going to sometimes make you hurt until it gets better. Is there anybody in the room that ever acknowledged that sometimes you had to hurt before you heal? God, I'm hurting now. 2 days ago, everybody was in the gym doing sit-ups, and me with my stupid self. I'm going to do sit-ups like them. I'm like, boom, boom. And while I'm doing it, like, And everybody said, Miller, man, you got it. 24 hours later, I like, Jesus, what is this? And then I hear Brother Lawrence say, Pastor, you just keep doing it, you're going to be all right. No, I need to stop. There's some stuff we need to stop. And tell somebody, let that thing heal. God's trying to heal you. But he's also trying to make you uncomfortable. He makes us uncomfortable so we can trust in him with all of our heart and lean not to our own understanding. What God is saying in this end time, he said, I wanted you to speak to the rock, but you struck the rock. The problem that a lot of us have is that we're looking at our last past experience as we're operating in autopilot. Some of us are living our life, I know what I'm doing. I don't need God. I ain't got to pray. Got this job. Got this money. I'm okay. It's autopilot. And that's a danger. That's a danger. Do you think it's easy this point in my life, I still got a lot of energy, but the Lord said it's time to let it go and let the next one lead. I've seen so many pastors that help a church grow, and they watch it go to nothing. They were there for the time, and they saw it go. And I don't want to call no names. That's not right to call names. Let me say this. It ain't right to call names. But you see the church soaring, and all of a sudden it declines because every church, every person have a season of waning. You can go here, but there's a stopping point. There's a stopping point. Let me digress for a second. How did Bo Nix get hurt yesterday? Break his ankle, tear his ankle, at the end of the game. Point I'm trying to make out is that you're only going to go so high before you got to come to your senses and say, I need God. Even if you tear your ankle, you're still going to need God. So every situation, every circumstance, every place you go, we need God. Somebody shout, I need God. But what Jesus is trying to do is get us to get close to him. How does this happen? Well, in 1 Corinthians chapter number 10, verse number 4, the Lord is saying something very powerful. I don't have time to get it. He said, what they did, Jesus was really quoting, Paul was really quoting what happened in Israel's time. And if you go back and look at it, and I didn't give it to our staff, but what happened was, let me just go there just for a second, and that's, if you can get your Bibles real quickly, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter number 10. I have about 7 more minutes. I'm going to try to get this done. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And verse number 1. All right. You have it? Anybody have it? And verse 1 says, moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all of our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. And were all baptized unto Moses into the cloud and to the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of a spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with many of them, God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Verse 6. Now these things were our example. What happened for Moses is our example for today. And to the extent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lust. Neither be ye idolaters. That's what they were doing, idolatrous worshipers. And as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and was destroyed by the serpent. Verse 10. Neither, here it is, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed by the destroyer. So, back to my point, when you complain, you're going to stay right there. They were destroyed by the destroyer. Why? They kept complaining. If y'all hang around complaining, folks, I'm going to tell you, after a while, your complaining not going to make no sense. Verse 11 says, now all these things happen for an example, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world have come. So what happened to them is happening to us right now. He's given us evidence. He's showing us what we need to do. Come on, Keisha, help me out. He's telling us what we need to do. It is true. Instead of us learning, instead of us recovering, we repeat. Our children are sometimes doing the same thing we did. And then we mad at them, but why are you mad at them and you haven't changed? Stop doing the same thing. Ask God to help you. God wants us to focus in on him. God wants us to stare at him. This season of our life, let's make a commitment, and not resolution. Let's make a commitment. We're going to stare at God. These next 12 months, we're just going to stare at God. We're going to give him our undivided attention. We're not going to look at what's going on around us. We're going to look at what he put in us. He's given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. Is there anybody in the room that wants to stare at God? Jesus taught the intimacy of prayer. Mark chapter 1, verse number 35, the Bible said Jesus got up a great while before day, and there he prayed in a solitary place. God meets you in prayer when you meet him early in the morning. 7 and 8 o'clock is too late. I can't get no help in it. It is early in the morning, a great while before day, he prayed. It is at 3 o'clock in the morning that God really talks. Verse what? The Lord's talking. He's talking. So when he wakes you up at 3, don't just go and go to the refrigerator. Just fall on your knees. And you don't have to fall on your knees. Just stand up and give him praise. It's not just falling. It's having a commitment and time spent with God. And I promise you, we had the 6 o'clock prayer, and I'm telling you, doors were open. I wasn't even praying about some things, and doors started opening. Somebody shout, "Open, says me." They used to say it years ago, "Open, says me." I thought it was some tongues. But they were saying, "Open, says me." When we get in Jesus' face, he will reveal some things to us, all right? Please, intimacy, watch this down. Watch this. Intimacy is a deep sense of closeness and connection, built through vulnerability, trust, and shared experience. Trusting God through intimacy and closeness. And the Lord is not going to give you everything you want. It's through prayer, privacy, persistence, faith, and forgiveness. So you have to have faith. And I'm going to say something in the room. I hope you get it. There are some of us in the room need to ask God for forgiveness of some things we've thought. Anybody want to ask God for forgiveness? Lord, not forgive nobody else. Lord, forgive me for looking at things differently. Forgive me, God. So faith and forgiveness, sincerity, and here's the last one, submission. Surrendering to God.